And so this really, to my knowledge, was kind of the brainchild of Earl Potter, for those who know him from Pennsylvania. And he had approached AASHTO about starting a technical services program. And the outcome and or his desires were to create a technical services program, as well as to get all of the 4 partnerships together. So all of the 4 AASHTO partnerships together. And so the EMTSP, the oversight panel, as Lisa was talking about earlier, it consists of 2 at-large members, 1 from each region, AASHTO region, and then also the panel chair, which is Tim Cunningham out of Kansas. So the Region 1 representative is Jim Chupas from Connecticut. Region 2 is John White from South Carolina. Region 3 is Doug Burke from Ohio. And then Region 4, me from the West. And then Lisa Koonsman and Ken Valentine are members at large. And so what you're going to see is a triennial plan that, that our chair gave to AASHTO this last spring. And it's our 2nd triennial plan. So basically, we've been in existence now for 6 years, since 2011, I believe. And these are the accomplishments over the last 3 years. And every 3 years during this triennial plan, we have to go to AASHTO and justify the program to still make sure that it is value added and that the $3,000 annual voluntary contributions are worthy. So here's the membership. And so the EMTSP was approved by the board of directors in October of 2008. I didn't know that. So anyway, it was not active, I believe, until 2010. And the established a mission, vision, goals, including our number 1, which is to support the equipment managers' regional partnerships. And in 2009, only 2 of the 4 regions were active. So here is the 4 partnerships that make up the EMTSP. And we had planned and held 2 national fleet conferences. The first one was the national conference in Orlando, Florida, and the second one was in Columbus, Ohio in June of 2016. This is just over the last 3 years. I'm sorry, there was the first conference that was in Mobile, Alabama, was the first one. There was a joint Northeast Midwest Regional Equipment Conference this in 2015 in St. Louis, Missouri. And then there was also the Western Conference in Alaska, and the Southeast held their conference in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. We developed and enhanced the website. So we do have our own web page, as well as when you go to this one, you can click on the Western link, which also takes you to our own personal website. Okay, within the website, there's equipment modeling and cost, and there's also specifications, and a video library of past presentations, and there's John. Okay, we've been reporting on 4 national performance measures, and these were approved by the national group. And there was an AASHTO resolution that approved these 4, and I believe it doesn't say how many states are reporting on the performance measures. Lisa, do you remember? Okay. So anyway, the majority of the nationals are reporting at least 1 performance measure. Here's the current research projects. As Judith had mentioned earlier, we've received 4 research project funds over the last 5 years, so we have been very successful. 1304 is nearing completion, and that's a replacement criteria. And then there's 1306, which is long-range planning, and then recently approved and solicited research panels for a new warning light study. So we do have one, I believe, that was posted in or published in 2009. But our lighting standards and the technology has changed so much since 2009. The fleet managers thought that it needed to be updated. It was selected, and then also a repair versus replace of highway maintenance equipment. We've developed the web-based training, as Lisa was talking about earlier. The first module is posted on our webpage at this point in time, and I know folks on my staff have already taken it. And we're in the development phase for, I believe, 2 more modules. Okay. We're continuing to plan the regional and national conference and developing the future training modules for the TC3 web hosting. So TC3, more acronyms, does host this. And one of the things that I might add, if you go to the TC3 AASHTO TC3 website and you want to take the training, there's a disclaimer there that says if your state is not a contributing state, you don't have access to it, but that is not true. So for this training, you can access it without being a contributing state. And then to promote and expand the capabilities of the EMTSP org website. So 41 states in 2004 contributed, 41 in 2015, and 39 in 2016 contributed their voluntary contributions. And that's what it looked like financially. And then, so what your contribution provides is the technical presentations, the annual conference, resources, contacts, the peer exchange. I think Lisa had mentioned it earlier in her opening speech, is that I think what fleet managers gain probably the most important here is the relationships, and then the individual attributes of the DOT fleet manager, so you know who to contact when you have a problem with rusting frames in Utah, or if you need information, you know, on icebreakers from Alaska. You know, those are the things that make it easier for us. We have regional conference calls on a monthly basis. The partnerships speak, I believe, every 2 months, and then the EMTSP, they conference call for an hour every month. And then we're sharing performance measures and reporting, and then also I know that Wyoming is working on expansion of the performance measures, possibly adding a 5th. And then workforce development and research prioritization and more. So in closing, you know, it is a great value and a great resource. And when Tim gave this presentation on the triennial plan, AASHTO was all thumbs up and said continue the program. So very successful. And I think Judas can attest that I believe, and I'm a little prejudiced, but I believe that the equipment twig at the Standing Committee on Maintenance in this EMTSP were probably the most active, most aggressive group that's out there at this point in time. So, all right, any questions? All right, thank you.
The preceding video was produced by the National Center for Pavement Preservation. More information can be found at tsp2.org. That's tsp2.org. Additional support provided by Michigan State University.